My name is Jasmine Brunson, and this is From the Heart, a Hoopers podcast. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of From the Heart, a Hoopers podcast. Last week, we talked about different things that I was completely ignorant to, but essentially took away from playing overseas. So if you haven't tapped into episode 7 yet, please go do me that favor. Make sure you go tap into that. If you really missed any of the episodes from 1 through 7, make sure you go tune into those episodes because, as I say all the time at this point, I'm on all platforms. I'm on every platform, so if you want to watch it or listen to it, I'm on everything. So make sure you catch up with those episodes. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the wake-up call I had when it came to work ethic and what it really meant to be working hard when it came to my craft. Because I don't know about y'all, but I hear it and I heard it all the time. Like, everybody says that they're working. Everybody says they're working, but I don't know about that. I don't know. That's up for debate. That's a little questionable, in my opinion. In my humble opinion, that's a little questionable. But as we do all things, we're gonna get into it. So if you have not subscribed to the official YouTube channel, please go do me that favor. And then just make sure you scroll over a little bit and press that hype button for me. Also, make sure you are following the official Instagram page at From the Heart Hoopers Podcast, as well as tapped in with me on all podcast platforms. Now that we got business handled, let's get into it. Let me just say, for a very, and when I say very brief moment in time, I mean very brief moment in time, I too was one of those athletes or one of those players that equated me being in a gym all day to, okay, I'm working hard. Realistically, me being in the gym all day, it was times I was in the gym maybe 6-7 hours, like, because my father worked at a gym. But it was times where I was genuinely in the gym all day. And I felt like because I probably got one good workout in and we probably scrimmaged a couple times. And then aside for that, I was just, putting up shots, just random things on the basketball court that I equated that to working hard. That was a lie. That's a lie. Like, that, I don't even understand why I equated the two. Like, I really don't know why, but that was a lie. That was a lie because realistically, I had to pay attention to what it was that I was doing while I was in the gym. You could sit there and be in the gym for 9 hours if you want, 10 hours if you want, but if you're not maximizing your time in the gym, if you're not being intentional, if you're not working on or taking something out of it, you're not really you're just in the gym. You occupying time, you're not really working. Some people may feel like it's either working harder or working smarter. That was neither one. I wasn't doing neither one. So I'm spending all of these hours in the gym at a certain point in my career, but I'm not fully maximizing all of that time. I could have left after hour 3 if I was gonna sit there and mess around for the 4 other hours that I'm just in the gym. So if me and being in the gym freely hooping all of the time wasn't me working hard, then what does it really mean to work hard when it comes to the game of basketball? What does working hard when it comes to the game of basketball look like to you? To me, it looks like discipline. It looks like intentionality. It looks like consistency. It looks like leaving absolutely nothing left in the tank. It looks like hitting a second gear. It looks like catching your second wind. It looks like all of those things to me. I thought running the 17 in 52 seconds was hard. Boy, I got to college. For my conditioning test, we had to run 24 double down and backs. And for my time, and it was like, I want to say, 2 of the other guards, we all had to do it in 22 seconds each, double down and back. That was hard. That was hard. Like, that was a whole different type of conditioning. The training for it, the actual conditioning test, like, we didn't do, most schools or a lot of schools did the mile test on the track. We ain't do that. We did not do that. And at this point, I don't know what's worse, because I've done that before just to train on my own. I've ran them out, on the track. But the double down and backs, yeah. It started off at 24 seconds. Like, the guards, we all had 24 seconds to do a double down and back. Then here I go showing my strength and conditioning coach, like, yeah, I could hang with the, the most conditioned girls on the team. And they was doing it in 22 seconds. Like, I literally have a picture that, like, it depicts clearly what those sprints was like, what that conditioning was like, and the toll it took. You want to sit there and talk about nothing left in the tank. If I find a picture, I'm gonna insert it somewhere over here. This teammate right here was really my partner in crime in college. And I don't even mean to expose you like this, but shout out to my good friend. Them things took us out. It gave me anxiety. Like, having to run those gave me genuine anxiety. And if you don't know what a double down and back is, it's kind of self-explanatory. It's pretty much in the name. But if you do not know what that is, it's on a college court, or you can really run it on any court, but I'm not talking about them little high school courts, some CYO courts, the baby courts. It's not a college regulation court. 2 down and backs. It's literally 2 down and backs, going to the opposite end of the baseline. But for the second one, we had to finish through the free throw line. So it was fake a little, it was a little easier, but it didn't. It really, while you're running it didn't feel like it mattered. It just felt like I was just running forever, just running and running.
A few moments later.
And running and running. And if you think that's light, you go ahead. You go hop on a college regulation court or on a professional court, and you run 24 double down and backs, finishing through the free throw line on your second down and back, right? In sets of 6 with only a minimal break. I believe we had, after the first set of 6, we probably had a minute and a half to rest. Then I think after the second set, it was 3 minutes. And then after that set, it was like a minute, and then we finished it. Listen, if you think that's light, you go ahead and you do that, and then you tag me on Instagram. Y'all know the Instagram at From the Heart was podcast. Y'all go ahead and y'all do that, and then y'all tag me because I need proof. Anybody can tell me that they did it, but I need proof. Y'all go ahead and do that conditioning, and then tag me. But those made 17s and 52 look like cake. It was a cakewalk, compared to that, cakewalk. Or even when I was first introduced to ladders, if y'all know what ladders is or running ladders is, comment right now, because those are brutal too. Those are brutal. It was something that, when I first was introduced to it, I just wish I never was, because I just don't. A different level of conditioning. Different coaches have different, numbers that you go up to. So say, for example, you're going to 21, which I just think is crazy. But say you're going to 21, right? So if your coach is really being nice, it's just touches. It's not a down and back. That doesn't count as one. It's just touches. So say you got 21, for example. If you got 1, run to the opposite baseline. All right, that's your 1. You got 2. All right, cool. 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth, all the way to 21. Now, understanding that what goes up must come down, you do the same thing back to 0. So you get to 21, and then you come back down, or whatever number your coach has for you, and you come back down. Those also almost took me out. But I wasn't introduced to ladders in college though. I was introduced to ladders in high school. But between those and double down and backs, honestly, that was the best I felt in my life in terms of conditioning. That was the best shape I feel like I probably was ever in, especially training for the conditioning test, the double down and backs and stuff like that, because we trained for that intentionally pretty much all summer, and then we ended up taking the test. But it's just different levels of conditioning. But those are 2 things that completely left me with nothing in the tank, whether it be actually doing them, like the testing of it, or just simply training for it. It definitely required way more energy than the 17. It required way more energy than, a suicide or anything like that. It pushed me to a whole different level, and it definitely challenged me, but it required work. It required everything that I had every single time I ran them. And you know what else I meant working hard meant or entailed? Consistency and intensity. And by that I mean, do you show up every day ready and willing to push yourself and ready and willing to challenge yourself? Do you show up every day looking to get better? Do you show up every single day, or do you start a practice out on 10 and then as time goes by you fade out, your voice fades, your energy fades? Last week in the weight room you lifting 30s, 35s. This week in the weight room, no, you lifting 15s and 20s. Why? Because you sore and you tired? Or is it because we got more reps this week? Or are we staying at 30s and 35s? Or are we improving? Are we going higher? Or last week during workouts, during your individual workouts, or during practices, you was able to make shots when you're tired, because that's a big thing, is to make shots and finish when you're tired. Last week you was able to do it. You was able to push through. But this week, you got dead legs, heavy legs, very heavy legs. You sore, you're tired, you might have something else going on, you stressed out. Whatever the case might be. Now you can't push through. Now you be finding excuses. Now you can't lock in long enough to be able to hit shots while you're tired. Now you can't bring yourself or center yourself and be able to really lock in and focus on what it is that you're doing. You can't give anything more because you're just too tired. That's really when you're gonna get the most out of it. that's genuinely when you're gonna get the most out of it, when it's even harder. But consistency has always been key. Like a drop off and especially depending on what stage you're at in your career, you're not gonna have as long of practices, or every practice is not gonna be a super intense practice. You have walkthroughs, you have different things, but your intensity, your internal intensity, what gets you up every day, what makes you go hard and grind every single day, that shouldn't waver. Regardless of the intensity of the overall workout or of whatever it might be, your internal intensity, that should always be there. That should always, if ever, be consistent, because you know you're trying to be better than you was yesterday. You're trying to improve every single day. Every time you clock in hours working on your craft, whether it be actual on court, in the weight room, film, conditioning, however you condition, whatever it is, you're clocking in hours. Maximize that time, get the most out of it, optimize that time. So all of these are things that I consider to be working hard, or when I think of working hard when it comes to the game of basketball, these are the things that I think about. I think about intentionality. I'm thinking about, just being consistent with what you're getting out of it, or what you want out of it, or what your intention is. Just because you're sweaty or you're tired, not exhausted, but you're tired, you still give a little something. You still got a little left in the tank, so you're just tired. But just because you're sweaty and you're a little tired does not mean you got everything out of whatever it was that you was just doing. That does not mean that. I've seen people, I've seen kids, I've seen, people I've played with. I've seen people go through an entire workout, like just strolling. Literally just strolling. And they sweating just because it's hot in the gym. But you didn't put no work in. I've seen people damn near walk through workouts. Like, I've seen kids walk through workouts. You ain't get everything out of that. You think because you got a little bead of sweat on you working. Though you did not get anything out of that. Like, you really did not get anything out of that. And that used to piss me off when I was working out with people or practicing with people that, didn't go hard every day or didn't. That's annoying. That is so annoying. It's so annoying. Because it's like, why? It's like, why do something if you're not going to give it your all? Because the time is going to pass regardless. So if you're gonna spend your time doing this, putting effort and time and energy into your craft, get the most out of it, get something out of it, make sure that you're being intentional with what you want out of it, instead of just letting the time go by. Because you're only gonna cheat yourself. You hear that all the time in the basketball world. Every player has heard that. You're only cheating yourself. So if I'm gonna take the time out to do something, I'm gonna make sure I'm giving it 150%, because I could be doing anything else in the world, but I'm choosing to do this, so get something out of it. Or an honorable mention, right, when it comes to my student athletes. I think we've all, or if you haven't yet, you're gonna get to a point, right, where we've all gotten to being able to make sure that your homework and your assignments are done, right? Because picture this. It's Monday, right? You have practice, but you have a full day of classes. You also have homework and just different assignments here and there that you gotta do. You also have practice on Tuesday, right? So you get through your day, you go to practice. But during this practice, your coach installed 4 new plays, variations included. That could make it seem like a whole different play sometimes. So you could double the 4 plays, but whatever, we're gonna keep it at 4 plays, variations included. You have to go home, study, do your homework, study your plays, because you have to know them by the time practice starts the following day, or you're out of it. It's tough for you. But you also have a full day of classes on Tuesday, and you have just throwing a test in there on Tuesday as well. So finding time, making sure and prioritizing that your homework is done, finding time to study for this exam that you have the next day, and you're studying your plays because you're gonna have to run them again following practice, and you bet not mess up, you bet not screw up. That's hard. That is hard. Like, that is hard work. That's also being intentional. That's also being disciplined. Being able to juggle all of that, because that's life as a student athlete. You have to be able to balance your studies with your commitments to basketball. So you better know those plays, as well as knowing the material for that test, that homework, all of that stuff. But it is a balance. It is something that you have to figure out. It's something that you have to be intentional about. Yes, you have help, especially, at different points when you're a student athlete. The most help I feel like you'll have, obviously, is in college. But in high school, yes, you have different counselors and stuff like that can help you with that. But I think the most hands-on that, everybody else is in college. but you still have to find all of that time to manage and prioritize the things that you need to prioritize. I genuinely remember being in classes where it's just like I'm trying to focus on what it is that I'm focusing on, the material, because I know I got homework, or I know I got a paper, I know I got an assignment, whatever I might have. But then it's like, I know my coaches just implemented 5 new plays. And as the point guard, like I said in the previous episode, you got to know everybody's position. Everybody's position. It gets easier as like you go on, you know, in your career, because a lot of coaches reuse different plays. It's just different variations. But when everything is just fresh and new to you, the plays might look foreign language to you. It's treacherous. So the next time you say that you're working hard, or you identify as being a hard worker, just ask yourself, like, are you consistent? Do you push yourself every single day? Are you disciplined? Are you being intentional about what you went out the game, what you're getting out of every single time you either watch film, every time you step in the weight room, every time you step on the court, every time you step on the track, every time, you know, you get in the pool to swim, because that's also great conditioning. Boxing, great conditioning. But whatever it might be, are you maximizing everything that you want out of those workouts or those opportunities to clock in hours with your craft? Are you getting something out of everything that you're doing? Sore, tired, emotional that day, other stuff might be going on. Are you checking all of these things off? Are your boxes marked? Or is your work ethic, or, you know, the intensity or how hard you work dependent on your mood that day or how you feel? Is it dependent on, okay, I'm a little, I don't know, it's repetitive. I don't want to work on dribble pull-ups today. We just worked on that for 4 straight days. I don't want to do that. Or I'm a little sad, or I'm a little tired. I'm not going, let me just breeze through that. I'll get that money back tomorrow. You wasted a day. The reality is you wasted a day. So when you identify as being a hard worker, you say that you work hard, can you check all of these boxes off? And these are the questions I had to ask myself after that brief little moment in time. I didn't necessarily like my answers, and then it got to a point to where I was able to ask myself these questions, and I loved my answers. I started loving my answers because I can sit there and accurately say, yes, I'm maximizing every opportunity. I'm challenging myself every single day. I'm inviting challenges from different coaches. And that ultimately led to me taking great pride in my work ethic. Like, that's really still to this day, and y'all will forever hear me say it. Y'all gonna keep hearing me say it. My work ethic is something that it doesn't matter. I love to work. I loved putting work in. I loved clocking hours, and I love getting better. I love seeing, you know, the results. I love just the confidence that it comes with, just knowing that I'm doing everything that I could. Like I'm maximizing every opportunity, especially when you see for different reasons the opportunity being taken away from different people. Opportunities are taken away from different athletes or student athletes all the time. So just understanding, or even something that's like an injury, the game is taken from you for however long you're out, however long you're sidelined. The game's taken away from you. So especially having and dealing with that and having moments where the game literally was taken from you, you maximize your opportunities. None of it is easy, but it's also not supposed to be, because we all know if it was easy, everybody would do it. But that's what makes it, again, a lot more special when you have those people that consistently work hard. And at this point, everybody should know that Kevin Wayne Durant is my favorite player. My favorite basketball player, period. Like, for women, I'm a little biased, and this might be a little controversial, especially now. But Kathy Pondexter, that's my fave. Kathy Pondexter has always been my favorite for female. Like, yes, we could sit here and argue, oh, Diana Taurasi, Maya Moore. We could argue all of these different people. Yes, might have more accolades, more everything. But in terms of who I resonated with a lot was Kathy Pondexter. That's my favorite women's basketball player. But my all-time favorite basketball player, period, KD. And that is somebody, like, when I look at work, that's the epitome of somebody that works hard every single day. Like, this man, if y'all ever seen that, what was it, a picture or a meme? It was something. And it was him shooting hoops in the club. So if you were a hard worker back in your prime, or you're currently an athlete, and you pride yourself in being a hard worker and your work ethic, let me know. Y'all can comment or y'all can DM me. But as always, thank you for tuning in to this episode of From the Heart of Hoopers podcast. Make sure you are subscribed to the official YouTube channel at From the Heart of Hoopers podcast, as well as following the official Instagram page at From the Heart of Hoopers podcast as well. You're tapped in with me on all podcast platforms. But with all that said, I will see y'all next week.